Best practices and tips for React development. Now let's go over the React best practices first. The first one is component structure. Organize your components based on their functionality and reusability. Use functional components whenever possible and keep them small and focused. State management. Prefer using local state, which is use state, for component specific state and global state management solutions like Redux or the context API for managing application wide state. Props usage. Keep props immutable and avoid modifying them directly within components. Use props to pass data from parent to child components. Lifecycle methods. Understand the React component lifecycle and use lifecycle methods like use effect for functional components appropriately for handling side effects, data fetching, and cleanup. Conditional rendering. Use conditional rendering techniques like ternary operators or logical and for rendering components conditionally based on state or props. Error handling. Implement error boundaries to gracefully handle errors in React components and prevent the entire application from crashing due to a single error. Keys in list. Always provide a unique key prop, two elements in list to help React identify which items have changed, added, or removed, improving rendering performance. Now let's go over some tips for writing efficient and maintainable React code. Keep your components small. Break down complex UIs into smaller reusable components to improve code readability and maintainability. Use functional components. Whenever possible, use functional components over class components as they are simpler, more concise, and easier to understand. Avoid nested ternary operators. Limit the use of nested ternary operators to avoid code complexity. Instead, consider using conditional rendering with if statements or switch cases for better readability. Use memoization. Utilize the use memo hook to memoize expensive calculations or complex data transformation to improve performance by avoiding unnecessary renders. Destructuring props and state. Destructure props and state within functional components to improve code readability and avoid repetitive props and state references. Consistent naming conventions. Follow consistent naming conventions for components, props, and state variables to make the code base easier to understand and maintain. Code reviews and refactoring. Conduct regular code reviews and refactorings to identify and fix code smells, improve code quality, and adhere to best practices. Performance optimization techniques. First one, lazy loading. Use code splitting and lazy loading to load components and routes asynchronously, improving initial load times and reducing bundle sizes. Debouncing and throttling. Implement debouncing and throttling techniques for event handlers and data fetching to reduce unnecessary function calls and network requests. Memoization. Memoize expensive calculations and functions result using the use memo hook to prevent unnecessary recalculations and improve rendering performance. Virtualization. Implement virtualization techniques like windowing or infinite scrolling for large lists or grids to optimize rendering performance by rendering only the visible items. Optimize images. Optimize images for the web by compressing them using modern image formats, example WebP, and lazy loading images to improve page load times. Bundle analysis. Analyze and optimize the size of the application bundle using tools like Webpack, Bundle Analyzer to identify and eliminate unnecessary dependencies and reduce bundle size. Server side rendering SSR. Consider implementing server side rendering or static site generation SSG for React applications to improve perceived performance and SEO. Following React best practices, writing efficient and maintainable code, and implementing Performance optimization techniques are essential for building high quality React applications. By adopting these practices and tips, developers can create applications that are easier to maintain, performant, and provide a better user experience. Regular code reviews, refactoring, and staying up to date with the latest React developments are also crucial for continuously improving code quality and performance.